Hey folks, it's Grant Estrade over here at Big Tough Farmer. Sorry, I've been away for the past couple of months. It has been a very busy summer here at the farm. And I've also been putting a lot of effort into Gulf Coast Restoration Agriculture YouTube page as well. I kind of have a split personality with these two YouTube channels. One is going to be focused on actually boots on the ground implementation for our region specific, the Gulf Coast Southeast. If you're doing a livestock operation, or if you're doing any kind of crop production or vegetable production, your techniques and when you utilize those techniques, and if you even use any of the techniques, are going to be dependent upon your region, climate, culture. And so a lot of the folks who write and educate about livestock farming, that happens to be what we're mostly involved in, are not on our, the Gulf Coast Southeast region, and we deal with a different set of scenarios and circumstances than, let's say, if you're in Kansas or Missouri or Canada or New York or whatever. So anyway, we've been doing a lot of education stuff on what we're doing here and what we've learned in the regenerative movement for the past 6 years as they apply to our area. We're 80 miles off the Gulf Coast. So I've been focused on the implementation stuff. And when it comes to education, most of us like, the farming implementation. We like, the tools, the gadgets, the techniques, the equipment, all that kind of stuff. So it's very much, that stuff is the sweet stuff, the dessert, the stuff that we like to consume. The stuff that's like our vegetables, so to speak, is the stuff that we kind of like avoid and put off and may not even look into, is going to be strategy, your soft skills, your goals, how and why you're implementing your goals, your why, your bigger picture, communication skills, communicating skills with yourself and other people. And so I've come to learn and appreciate the fact that people want both, and they need both of those things. And so the Gulf Coast Restoration Agriculture, YouTube channel and other social media is for implementation, and the Big Tough Farmer YouTube channel and social media is going to be very much for your strategy. I firmly believe that if you do not work on your strategy and these soft skills, odds are your farm is going to fail. I'll just be very blunt. And if it doesn't fail, it's going to be on life support. It's going to be a struggle, and it's just going to be a big suck fest if you do not spend and invest the time that you need to in strategy. So that's what we're talking about here, is strategy on this channel. So that's what we're doing. And then a lesson learned with what I've been going through with the having the two YouTube channels and establishing my own protocols on when I video and how I video, and putting together a lesson plan and learning the editing and everything that I'm personally going through on my little social media journey when it comes to putting this information out there. It's very hard to do both at the same time. And so the very much when I talk about strategy, that's, the devils are in the details. And so I need to plan those talks out. I can't just pull out my phone in the middle of the field and start ranting about goal setting. I guess I can, but I feel like that's a disservice to you. So I need a lesson plan when it comes to the Big Tough Farmer channel, and an agenda for what I'm going to talking about, so that way I stay on track and I focus very much. So to that point, when it comes to goal setting and achieving, and going after the things that you want to go after, what I went through the past 3 months was what you're going to be going through as well with your own goals. Is that sometimes we go through these cycles in life. It may be 3 months, it may be 6 months, it may be 2 years, to where we're not able to focus on one area of what we want to achieve. And that's frustrating, but that frustration should not derail you on focusing and prioritizing on, what you need to do. One of my personal biggest examples that I have was that I was 5 years into college. I had 4 credit hours left, 1 3-hour math class, and an undergraduate thesis that I had to write and defend for 1 hour. So it was 4 hours, and I had an opportunity to get into my retail store, Laughing Buddha Nursery. This was in 2003, and so I made the decision to to pause my college career with 4 hours left and go full throttle into opening up that retail store. And 10 years later, I went and wrapped up my degree. And so I hit pause for 10 years on finishing and getting my undergraduate college degree. And so so with the Big Tough Farmer channel, I had to hit pause for about 2 or 3 months there. And so, sometimes it's 10 years, sometimes it's 3 months, but we're all going to be going through these seasons in life, seasons throughout the year, where you just can't focus on something. And so the key is, understanding at that time and place and context what you should be focusing on, and what is the best long-term thing that you need to focus on at that time. And so that's just a decision, strategic decision that I made with it, because my hope is that people find the Gulf Coast Restoration Agricultural channel, and then they can see me actually out in the field doing the farming stuff, that I'm not just completely full of shit. I'm full-time farming, and then that way maybe I will be able to gain enough credit with people to where when I say, hey, designing your rotational grazing system is great, but if you don't have the strategy and the why and all these other things behind it, it's pointless. And so I really want people to understand that I'm out there actually doing the work, both implementation wise out in the field, as well as strategy wise, in the office or wherever your place is, to figure out that type of strategy. So that's my lesson for you today, is that as you work out your goals and you start working hard to achieve the things that you want to achieve, it's okay to set aside some things to focus on others. There's always a trade-off. I want to work on this. The trade-off is I'm not going to be able to work on this. And those are decisions that we need to make. And so I encourage you to be decisive when it comes to that. Don't sit there and wring your hands and not do either one. Be decisive, make a decision to work on those things and not to work on those things. It does suck to have to do that, but that's just the reality of the situation. So you need the best thing to do is to accept that is the reality of things. And so that's my lesson for today. And so I'm hoping to get back on getting some better Big Tough Farmer videos. From a personal perspective, we are achieving a huge goal of ours this year, is that after living in a 320 square foot shipping container apartment that we built 6 years ago, after being in that thing for 6 years, we have been GCing our own house on the farm, 2,000 square foot house for the past year. The kitchen cabinets were just installed a few days ago. We're waiting for electricity to get hooked up, and then things are just going to be rolling along. So I've been very focused on GCing our house and getting our house built so we can move in here, in about a month or so. And so I could say that us finishing our house and moving out of this small little apartment that we've been in for 6 years has been more important than me working on the Big Tough Farmer YouTube channel and other platforms. And so we've made that decision, and then once that's done, the shipping container house is going to become the shipping container office for Grant. And so I will have a better space. We'll have a better background. We're going to set it up as like a little cool office studio thing to really pump out some information and set it up to have some people come over and do some interviews. And so everything that we're doing is strategic. And one goal is, the thoroughfare to achieve another goal, and that's just how we're rolling with it. So I hope everybody has a great day. I hope maybe this motivated some other people, or at least cycled you out of a frustrating mood when you realize that you can't do everything simultaneously at the same time. So y'all have the good one, a good one. Share the channel, subscribe. Make a comment, shoot me a note, and we'll go from there. Everybody have a good one.